はじめまして、マークと言います。よろしくお願いします。は、初めて会った時に言う日本語のフレーズです。でも、英語ではどう言えばがいいですか？大丈夫だよ。ぜひ最後まで見て学んでくださいね。今日のレッスンは英語の挨拶です。よろしくお願いしますは英語で Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you seems easy. It is the first thing we say when we meet somebody. I've noticed something. It's more complicated in English than it is in Japanese. There are certain social situations in English where we don't have an equivalent phrase like Yoroshiku Onegaishimasu. Today, we're going to learn greetings in English. Let's go. Nice to meet you has its limits. We only use this phrase the first time we meet somebody. It would be awkward to meet somebody again and say, nice to meet you, because they might think you don't remember them. So what do we say the second time we meet somebody? We'll get into that in just a minute. One thing to remember, when translating, you don't need a perfect word-for-word translation. We're not doing multi-million-dollar business deals. We're not a government. We're just two people, you and me, having a friendly conversation. We don't need perfect words. We just need to convey the meaning. That's what we need to accomplish. Because what Yoroshiku Onegaishimasu really does is it acknowledges a connection. It's saying we are now in a connection with each other, and I'm approaching this new relationship with goodwill. I'm going to be good to you, and I hope you're good to me. But that's extremely awkward to say in English. You would never go up to somebody and say, we now have a connection, and I'm approaching it with goodwill. It just wouldn't happen. There's no English equivalent to Yoroshiku Onegaishimasu. We just skip it, basically. So you want to ask yourself, when you first meet somebody, what is the social situation? And then find a phrase that fits. Are you meeting somebody new at work? You'd say, I'm looking forward to working with you. Or maybe you've been talking to somebody online and you're finally meeting them face to face. You'd say, it's nice to finally meet you. Different meeting situations have different appropriate phrases, and that's just kind of something that you'll learn over time. All situations are different, but even just nice to meet you works. But in casual situations, a lot of people don't even use Yoroshiku Onegaishimasu. Sometimes we just skip straight to konnichiwa. There's nothing wrong with saying nice to meet you, just not everybody does it. And nobody's going to think you're weird or being formal if you do say it, and you shouldn't think that if somebody doesn't say it to you that they're being rude. Hi or hello, perfectly fine. But what about the second time we meet somebody? Just like you wouldn't say hajimemashite the second time you meet somebody, we won't say nice to meet you. This is when our personality can really come out, because there are countless ways to say hello the second time you meet somebody. And there's nothing wrong with saying hi or hello, just being neutral. But if you really want to get out of your shell and express who you are inside, there's many of ways to do it. I could spend 10 minutes saying different phrases for when you meet somebody, but there's no reason to overwhelm you. Think of a few that you like and use them. And as you talk to people more, you'll learn more. And that should be the way you pick it up. You don't just need a list of 15 different phrases. Pick one or two that you like, use them, and as you hear other ones, add them into your vocabulary. And just like how there are different dialects in different areas of Japan, we also have different dialects of English in different areas of America, or actually all English-speaking countries. 日本の友達は福岡県に住んでいます。時々友達と一緒に福岡弁を話すよ。福岡弁好き。How are you? 3 simple words. It's almost impossible to get it wrong. But those 3 simple words can be confusing for people who are just learning English. Because how are you sounds like a question, but it's not a question. It's just a greeting. It's just a verbal handshake or a verbal bow. How are you? When someone asks you, how are you, they're not asking how you're doing mentally or physically. It's just social lubrication. It's just something to keep the conversation moving smoothly. Now, there are times when people really are asking how you're doing. If you're watching this, you're probably Japanese, and you probably know how important context is and how important reading the room is. So you'll know when someone is truly inquiring about how you are. 9 times out of 10, when you meet somebody on the street and they say, how's it going? They're just saying hi. And the correct response would be, I'm good, how are you? Or, I'm well, how are you? Let's talk about formal versus casual. You might hear somebody say good morning. You also might hear them say morning without the good. Same thing with good evening or just evening. Some people consider not using the word good rude, but it's not always rude. Just depends on the context. One thing to keep in mind, this channel is focused on casual speech between friends. In English, we don't have a strict keigo that's known by everybody and widely accepted by everybody. There's a lot of slang used in English. So there will be times that you're confused or you think you're saying the wrong thing, but you shouldn't let that stop you from talking. When I first started speaking Japanese with my Japanese friend or with anybody, I would always ask if something I said was rude. And they assured me, and I've heard it from other sources also, that as long as you're trying and putting in the effort, they're going to understand that you're not fluent, and they're going to understand that you're trying, and they're going to accept you. They're not going to think you're rude. They may even try to help you. And if somebody does think you're being rude and becomes rude to you, then they're not the kind of person that you should worry about having a conversation with. 来週のレッスンは名前。私の名前は何ですかとか。Be sure to stay tuned. Hit that subscribe bell to catch next week's video. じゃあ。